Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Emerson and today we're going to be making a painting together. I actually recorded a whole little intro for this and there were some clips during the process where I was talking, but I ended up not liking them, so we're just doing an entire voiceover. Hello. And the intention for this painting ended up pretty different than the finished product as well, so I thought it might be more fitting. So a while ago, I bought this giant pad of watercolor paper, and for the longest time it was with my parents because I moved far away from them and then I just saw them again so I could get the rest of my art supplies and all of my stuff and everything. So I am reunited with this giant pad of paper. At least giant for me, because normally the biggest size that I'll do is 9 by 12, and even that is like really big for me. Normally the biggest size that's just like standard for me is 8 by 10. So this was pretty different from that. I believe this was like 11 by 17 or something. So for me that's pretty large, but I do want to start painting a lot larger. I really love larger paintings. I love the process. I love how much space it gives you, and I like how much space it takes up in like your field of vision once it's finished. I just think it's really nice. So I thought this would be a good way to ease into that because I have so much of this paper and I actually don't think I've ever used the entire size of it. I know that a few times I cut it down and painted on it, but never the entire thing that I can remember at least. So I was like, I can't let this just sit there. I want to paint bigger. I have this paper. Let's do it. So on top of that, I feel like I'm perpetually tired of like trying to force myself into a box and make these things that take on this process that is very like considered proper. And sometimes it can be kind of tiring for me, the idea of like, you want to make something amazing, so you need to start by doing a bunch of sketches, have an idea that you like, and then you're supposed to come up with a composition you like and then make different versions of it so that you know that you like the one that you think you like, and then do color comps, try to come up with a whole color scheme and plan, maybe do a bunch of thumbnails and then start painting and do this whole thing. And I love the idea of that. I know that it makes for good paintings and I know that it gives you the best shot at like making something that really represents your idea. But sometimes I just want to paint, and I can often lately for the last like year, maybe even 2 years, I feel like I never have time to paint. Like I don't have enough time, and I've been really trying to make more time for it lately, but because I feel like I'm kind of limited on time, doing that entire process can take so long that so much time passes before I get to the part where I'm painting. And sometimes I realize that I'm pressuring myself to do that so much, and I feel like it's like a law, like it's a rule that I have to follow, but it's not. And so many people, I know for a fact that so many people make paintings without using that process at all, and their paintings are still amazing and I still love them and they're still great, and you don't have to do that. And like I know that, but I don't know why I still feel so married to that concept and that sort of plan, because I don't even think it serves me that much in the long run. Because if something is preventing you from making art, I don't know how much it's really helping your art. I feel like the best thing that you can do when it comes to painting is just paint, because you're going to learn so much about the process, about the materials, about yourself, about your voice if you're painting. But if you're not painting, you can't learn anything about painting. So yeah, I'm trying to separate from that. And in that vein, I wanted to make a painting that was very much spur of the moment, very much stream of consciousness. I wanted to kind of just throw stuff at the wall, do whatever I wanted. If I wanted to use different mediums, I didn't want to worry about it, and just do something very, very loose. So that was the original intention here. And I had a little bit of a vague idea in my mind that had kind of been in my mind for a while. So I had an idea of the composition that I wanted, and it was a figure like this, but it involved more of like stars and like celestial themes and stuff. But I do think that this was fun to land on, and I did enjoy it. However, I really didn't end up doing that whole stream of consciousness thing. It did start that way, so I didn't do any planning for it whatsoever. I didn't sketch it out beforehand or anything, and I just kind of went at it. But it ended up being, pretty similarly refined to anything else that I would make. But it's fine, I'm fine with that. And I do think that I landed on some stuff that I wouldn't normally have if I hadn't gone at it with that process, especially with the background and the splatters and stuff there. I think that that's really fun, and it gives a really nice juxtaposition, in my opinion, between like the more messy splattered background and then the stuff in the foreground is a little bit more refined, and I think that gives a really nice feel. And I think it's also a good thing to include in my work, possibly going forward, because I like my work to be very emotional and like emotion based, and I feel like that really helps give that feeling of like not so much being rooted in a reality and a place and like a thing that's going on, and more so gives you a feeling. So for the actual process of this piece, I started everything out with a base of watercolor and a little bit of like a very loose underpainting. And then I ended up going over everything in the foreground with gouache, like I mentioned. And I actually went over a lot of the parts multiple times, and I kind of did like a lot of passes over different areas. So don't get too attached to the way that anything looks at a certain point, especially the face. I ended up changing that a lot. And like I said, I wanted to get really far away from like the usual process for this painting. So even though I didn't really do what I wanted to, the process still did not end up being very usual for me. It's like, it was a very messy process. So don't mind that too much. Don't take that as an example. My work usually doesn't undergo this sort of process. So just keep that in mind a little bit. To be totally honest, I feel like the gouache was giving me a little bit of a hard time. More so at the beginning when I was laying down the first layers of gouache. I felt like it was coming out really patchy, so I had to go over it again and again. But I think that might have been because there's a possibility I was using the wrong side of this paper. But I don't know, honestly. Maybe it's just because I'm out of practice with gouache. But yeah, so this paper is the Canson XL watercolor paper, like you might have seen at the beginning. And I've used this brand a bunch, and normally it's always like the more toothy side is on the front, right? And then the back side is very smooth and flat because it is cold press. And for some reason in this big paper pad, it was glued in the opposite way. So the really smooth side was on the top. But since I've used this paper so much, I really felt like technically the back side of the paper was the front side. So I flipped it over and I used that side. But I might have been wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's different. So there's always that possibility. But it turned out fine. I think it's fine. Also, please forgive me if there's a lot of changes in the lighting and the way that the video looks, because this took place across several days and it took many hours. I'm not sure exactly how long it was. I would have to try and check the footage, but it was definitely, a good handful of hours. So please forgive that. So that is sort of most of the process and my overall feelings about the painting kind of wrapped up in a bow. That's what I'm really taking away from the process as far as just my thoughts on it. But if we are being totally honest, there were some more feelings and parts of the process that I will be taking with me forward. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit further, towards the end when I was doing, some of the last parts, I did get kind of tired of working on this. And I also felt like since I didn't end up doing the stream of consciousness sort of thing that I wanted to do, and I was just doing something more refined anyway, then it's maybe I should have just planned because it would have turned out a little bit better if I had, planned a little bit, probably. But everything else I said is still true, and I don't regret doing it. It's just informing me for next time. I don't think gouache is the best for doing something larger. I think gouache is best when it's on a smaller scale. So my next big thing, I think I will be doing an acrylic for sure. Or I might start oil painting soon. As I'm recording this, I'm very much going back and forth considering buying all of the materials for that, because I really want to start oil painting at some point in time, and I feel like now might be a good time, but also I don't know if there ever will be a perfect time for a lot of stuff. So I'm thinking about that, and I'm trying trying to prioritize that. Also, Michael's is having a sale as I'm recording this on all of their canvases, so I might buy some big canvases at that time, and then those will be great for doing some bigger stuff like I want to do. Another side note, the entire process from when I started this painting to now of me making this voiceover was literally so long. I feel like I take a million years to do everything. Sometimes I wonder if I just have like too many things I'm trying to balance and I should like refine it down a little, but at the same time it's so hard for me because I don't know which things I would want to get rid of because I want to do all the things. And I feel like other people balance it, but I don't know. So yes, I'm sorry if I posted this painting like on social media forever ago until now to the point where I'm posting this video. I promise I'm trying my best to like get it done. And again, I want to make more videos, want to put them out more frequently, but sometimes it takes me a million bajillion years. I'm trying to work on that and make more videos also that are not as long of a process as this, but I did want to make this video as well. Let me know in the comments if I should start oil painting and if you want to see that in a video, like the first time that I'm oil painting, I could like make a little video. Ooh, I could make a little haul for the package if I buy all the materials and stuff. I think it would be fun. I think it would be a fun little journey. Let me know if you're interested. So yeah, I think that's just about everything I have to say about this painting. Thank you so much for watching, that you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!